All right, this video introduces variance and standard deviation. So there's a lot of information on this slide, so you may just want to pause and read. All right, what I want to focus on are these words right here. Variance, which is denoted by sigma. That's what this little Greek letter represents, sigma squared. And what that represents, it's the average of the square differences from the mean. The average of the square differences from the mean. Then the other word that I wanted to talk about is standard deviation. It is denoted by just sigma. It is the square root of the variance, and it is one of the most useful ways to understand the measures of variations. How much does it deviate from the mean? The higher the deviation, the more spread out the data is from the center. The lower deviation, the opposite, how closely the values occur to the mean, the center. All right, these are the 4 steps that we're going to work through in the next problem. So step 1, let's start there. We want to find the mean of the data. So if you want to write down step 1, mean data, mean of the data. So just kind of those things I've highlighted. All right, let's go ahead and get to the problem. We want to calculate the variance and the standard deviation of this problem. What we give you is a team called the Panthers. They're a basketball team. They're made up of 10 players. And let's pretend we go out and measure the height of each of these 10 players. And the height is in inches. So we found the heights now. So we've labeled them. And now we say one person is the height of 69 inches. One is 73. And we have 6 of them at 74 inches. And then one of them at 75 and one at 79. This is what we also call a dot plot in stats. So we're going to go ahead and first do step 1, find the mean. So we're going to add up all of the heights of the 10 players. So we're going to take 69 plus 73 plus the 6 players that are 74 inches. So we're going to multiply those together, plus 75 plus 79. And we're going to divide it by how many players we measured. 10 players on the team. So, heading down to the next step, we're going to go ahead and add up those totals in the numerator, and we get 740. Divided by 10, our mean is 74. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and write that up here on the top of my box that you see, 74. Now, we've just completed step 1. Step 2 is to find the difference from the mean, difference between the mean and each data value. And then we're going to square it. So this is going to be our step 2. So we're going to head back, and what I've done is I've created a box to help us organize that data. So the first column represents each player's height, that's your data values. The second column represents the data point minus the mean, and then the third column is the data point minus the mean, and then we square it. So again, we're taking from 74. So we say, what is 69 minus 74? Well, that's negative 5. Then we're going to square it. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. Now the next one, 73 minus 74, negative 1. Square it, and we get 1. Now we say 74 minus 74 is 0. We square it, we get 0. So no change in each of these 6 basketball players. All right, now we'll head on to 75. 75 minus 74 is 1. Square it, and we get 1. Last one, 79 minus 74 is 5. Square it, and we get 25. All right, so we head back. We've just completed step 2. Now let's head to step 3. Step 3 says find the variance. The variance denoted by sigma squared is adding up all of those squares on the third column. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that next. I'm going to do that in green. So I'm heading to the third column, and I'm going to add up 25 plus 1 plus 1 plus 25. So we're going to get 52. This is the sum of the deviation squared. This represents our variance. As a notation, it's sigma squared. All right. Last step is to find the standard deviation sigma by taking the square root of the variance. So to find the standard deviation sigma, we're going to take the square root of the variance. We'll head back down. Well, we found that the variance was 52. So to find the standard deviation, we take the square root of the variance. All right, so we take square root of 52. There should be an equals there, not an approximate yet. All right, so we plug it into our calculator, the square root of 52. Is approximately 7.2. This is our standard deviation. So our standard deviation is 7.2, and our variance is 52.